All right, guys. I told you I was going to make a full-on video of this tent so everybody can see the size and everything that this thing's about. The tent we're talking about is the Argali Lemhi 3P, and this is what she looks like. Got it staked completely down as if I didn't want any airflow. If it was winter or anything like that. It's a pretty good sized tent. It's a lot smaller than any other tent that I've owned. Before this tent, I had a Pomali. It was a 6P. It was huge. It was like a mansion for two guys. You could easily fit two guys plus gear and the stove, firewood, everything. And this thing, it's a lot more roomy inside than I thought. So we're gonna take a look inside. I just have this stuff set in here more for scale, so that way people can understand how spacious it really is. So here I have my Thermarest Neo Air. Pretty good sized pad, but it does taper. My stove, it's a Pomali stove. This came with the tent that I had before this. Over here I have my bow and my Mystery Ranch Marshall 105. So it's a pretty good sized pack. Just for an idea of how big this thing is. To eliminate the question of, no, these are not Argali trekking poles. Trekking poles are trekking poles. It'll fit any trekking pole you got. So there's no need to buy Argali trekking poles just to pitch this tent. But that was a selling point for me. I wanted something that was a little bit more versatile, a little bit easier to pitch, and being able to pack this tent into the backcountry and be able to pitch it with trekking poles. A lot of times where I get where I'm going, I'm not running two trekking poles. I'm usually just using one once I get to where I'm going. So for me and my brother, it'll work out good. I got the Rincon 2P half floor, and that'll work good for a nice underlayment for my pad. Keep that up off the pine needles or whatever we're working with. But yeah, this is a awesome little tent. I think for the price point and for how light it is, I think this tent is 33.5 pounds or 33.5 ounces with the stove jack. So that's just, I mean, it's a metric ton less than the tent that I was packing before, almost 8 pounds lighter as a matter of fact. Really super easy to seam seal, and just all in all, I'm pretty impressed. The only thing I'm not too in love with right now is how close the stove stack is to the top of the tent there. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out something, some sort of a heat diffuser or something to put around the top of that to kind of keep the heat off the top of the tent, because there's not a lot of space here. So I don't know if I can make something to kind of push that away, but all in all, super happy with this tent. Packs up really small. I'll make sure and throw a little bit of that in the video too, but has good adjustments on the guy outs. Can be adjusted, tightened up, or you can stake it straight through here if you don't want any airflow. But for a lightweight backcountry tent, this thing is going to be sweet. But I wanted to do a video on it because there's no video on this tent at all other than Argali's promotional video that they have when this tent came out. So just wanted to do a video on it to eliminate all the struggle that I went through before I decided to buy it. I was having a really hard time deciding if this tent was going to be big enough for what I wanted. And I mean, as you can see, for one guy, this thing is going to be a freaking mansion. So there's plenty of room in there for firewood and whatever else, a lightweight backpacking chair, all sorts of stuff. So I mean, obviously you're not going to stand up in it and change your clothes. It's going to, you know, it's 4.5 feet to the top of the tent, so it's pretty shallow. But I mean, for as far as getting out of the weather, cooking dinners and getting sleep when you're in the backcountry, this thing is legit. All right, I don't know how well this is going to be for size comparison. Like I said in my short, Brad from Argali looks like an absolute giant compared to me. I'm 5'9" and a half-ish, 5'10". So, I mean, for this tent, the peak of it is a little bit lower than my shoulder. So like I said, you're not going to stand up in this thing and change your clothes. But it is very roomy, and just all in all, a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I was really kind of concerned saying it's a 3P, and I mean, if you take the stove and all the gear out of here, in a pinch you could definitely fit 3 people in there. Obviously these things are meant to get out of the weather and sleep. Obviously they're not meant for long term. So just a little comparison to the size of myself for the video. All right, as promised, got a size comparison of how big this thing is when it's stuffed sacked. Pretty small in comparison to any other tent that I've ever owned. It's a very compact, and it's extremely lightweight. It's like 33 ounces. Then the Rincon 2P half floor, pretty tiny as well. As far as headspace, when you're laying in this thing, I mean, got pretty good distance to the top. I mean, I could sit up fully in it. Brushes my head a little bit, but I mean, as far as sleeping quarters on this side goes, I can stretch out of the way. Still got plenty of headspace up here for extra gear or whatever. Yeah, this thing is a lot of room behind the stove there for packs, firewood, what have you, and then obviously a whole nother side over there for another hunter or whatever. I mean, this thing has a lot more room in it than what you would think. So if you're looking for a good 2-man backcountry tent that can accept a stove and still have a lot of room for gear, this tent is the real deal. So hopefully you consider it. I did. For the price point, you can't beat it. Lastly, just for full disclosure, I do not have any affiliation with Argali. I don't have any type of anything with them. I merely needed a new backcountry tent for hunting in Montana, and this was the tent that I decided to go with. Like I said in the video, it's hard finding film out there of this particular tent other than what Argali has on their site. So I wanted to do this video so that way if there's anybody out there like me that wanted to see what this tent was about and wasn't able to find anything, this video is for you. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for tuning in.